Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another stream on this not snowy, at least over here, Sunday. And hope everybody's doing great. I see some questions here. Insane Gaming, hey, what are your PC specs, by the way? Recommend me a good spec for UE5. That's a good question. I think so. My spec is I have a like a 12 Gen i7. Um, those that are on sale. So it's a decent CPU. And I did upgrade recently to 64 gigs of RAM, and I did notice a really good, I would say, improvement on how fast things were loading and everything. But I still have my ancient GTX 1070. Um, so yeah, it's like maybe one of the first gen 1070s. So yeah, video card wise, you know, mid to low end as far as my uh, computer goes. So definitely can handle everything. Um and in my rather unoptimized world, it runs at a constant 30 frames and above, which that's in editor. It might work better once it's in like once it's built. I need to retest it again. And but yeah, it's sufficient, definitely sufficient. I haven't upgraded yet because this is kind of like the level that I'm trying to target and get a decent frame rate. But yeah, Insane Gaming, hopefully that gives you an idea of what I'm currently running here. And yeah, you can probably get like a 1070, like a used 1070 for like, if there's any out there, for like, 50, $100 or something like that, probably even less. Um, I think close to new, like 2060, 2070s go for like 150, $200. But yeah, um, so not a lot happened since yesterday. I did run into this error with mantling, where the player you would like jump around a little bit, and you might have seen it. I'm not sure if it happened yesterday, but it would like fall through the ground somehow. And I figured out it was something that was missing in the mantling. But so I think I managed to solve that, where it was just if you guys remember yesterday when I was trying to climb over things, it would like put you at this location where it happened to be like a bus, with some wheels. And the reason for that was at like 0, 0 in the world, and that's what the mantling was doing. Like it couldn't find a mantle spot where you were trying to climb, and it would like teleport the player to like the 0, 0, 0 of the world. So I added a check to make sure that if the attempted mantling is like farther than 200 units from you, don't mantle. So now, so far from testing, I haven't run into any issues. Yeah, and so that was one of it. The other part was playing around with getting some of these kind of outer edges of the world populated with some trees, just to kind of see them all the way back there, and also get the shadows to work for all the way back here. Like you can see they have some shadows, even though it's on just on a high scalability. And yeah, another thing that I haven't actually haven't mentioned yet was the tops of the rocks were looking really just really rocky, and you don't really see that. They get covered with some kind of moss or whatever. Uh, in this case, it would be like this mulch, because and what that does, it also helps blend in with the rest of the terrain a little bit better. So that was another update. That was a shader update that I did. I forgot to show it to you guys last time. Um, okay. Yeah, the other thing was I also fixed a bug since yesterday um, with the mission and how that is shown. And so that's also fixed. It was Let me jump into game mode here, and we can take a quick look at some of the stuff that we played around with yesterday as well. So let's see. Let's jump into game. Unfortunately, I did not get around to address the that little bullet, not the bullet, but the little targeting uh, red dot. And if you remember, this was let me see. Hopefully, it's not going to collide with. There you go. So that little red dot there, and along with the iron sight, it's just really in the middle of the view. So I just need to fix that. But but yeah, let's go ahead and interact with this guy. You know, pick up our rifle. Oh, and I'm noticing something interesting here. I think it's the the little pull pin there gets clipped if you're too close. So let me yeah, maybe you can notice it at certain times. A little hard to do, but yeah, let's talk to this guy. You know, get the tablet and the first mission. All right, so let's see. So there we go. And now the fix that I had to do is it wasn't getting the target properly. So like for like quests and stuff. So let me I'm just gonna go and meet with this person and make sure that she is handing me the bow and just a little initial chat that she does there. Um, all right. There's going to be a couple of dudes over here. I'm just kind of shooting a little bit blindly here because I can't see much from the uh, and I need to get rid of these traces. And this magazine has only like 10 bullets apparently, and I'm like running through them really quick. So I need to fix some of this aiming as well. I mean, they eventually go down, but it's not like the headshot that I was hoping that it's doing. But and I'm probably gonna need to do something about the weapon because it's really I think it might be due to the stance. It's really taking a little bit too much of the screen for my liking. All right, so I know that this person, looking at the little device there, she is in that direction, about 95 meter, and it's above me, so I need to kind of look for her that way. So I'm just gonna go and meet with her and make sure, just like in the test level, that getting the mission, the next mission from her is working as expected. This terrain needs a little bit of smoothing here, I think. Oh, and actually, I don't think you hear anything from. So my bad. You're not hearing anything from the world. He's over there, kind of just looking dead on. Just climbed here. Apparently oh, interesting, the weapon did not get unholstered properly. Oh, and I think I might be hitting the, if you recall, whenever there's like this procedural foliage volume, it will um, it will trigger like an overlap event, and it will hide the like it would think like the weapon is hitting something. So I just need to modify those. Oh, and one thing I forgot from last night, the I think these rocks up here, once I get all the way to the top, for whatever reason I've having trouble mantling with these. I'm not entirely, I think there's something wrong with the collisions. So I need to take a look and see what's going on with the collisions for these. Hey, VDS, will it be difficult to beat? No. I mean, well, there's going to be uh, an amount of challenge, but yeah, I wouldn't. And I'm gonna attempt to do like a way to have levels of difficulty. You know, like maybe have the AI be a little bit, their aiming be a little bit better. You know, because right now it's just a little bit of a spread, so it's they're not like where they're shooting, where they're pointing, they're actually shooting. You know, it's similar to how you fire like a hip fire from your rifle. So that's what I'm hoping to do. Oh yeah, that kind of explains it. This collision is pretty awful here. Let's see if we can make this a little bit better. Yeah, I think that's gonna work out a lot better than before. I hope. Let's see, can we get? I'm gonna make it even better. All right, that's definitely tighter to it. Let's see, how far can we push this? Yeah, it doesn't really get better than that, but that's a lot better than before for this particular mesh. I'm gonna place the player there just to see if it can mantle on top of those. Yeah, so VDS, hopefully that made sense as far as what I'm planning to do for difficulty. Yeah, I don't want to make it um, like frustrating experience because I've played a number of games where even on like easy, there's like a big frustration when you traverse the environment. And that was a big thing for me. For example, in Doom Eternal, there was it wasn't the combat that was difficult, and even on a I wasn't playing on easy. I think I was playing one or the next two levels up, but the difficulty was like just jumping around and like grabbing onto things. That was extremely frustrating for me. Um, so yeah, I definitely like the challenge, but when it's getting, especially in a shooter game, when it's getting the challenges like in a platformer game, which I get it, platformer games are meant to be like, you should have like, good coordination and all that. But when it's translated, when it's put into a shooter, it can turn frustrating. And for me, I was like, there was like one section in Doom Eternal that you had to like traverse some kind of like a lava lake or I can't remember what, but you'd have to like time your jumps between, grabbing some bars, and I think I spent more on that than like the final boss. So, and it wasn't combat related. It was just like, trying to like coordinate to make sure that you got the right timing when um, there we go. That's better. To make sure that you got the right timing when like grabbing onto like a vaulting mechanism or a vaulting platform or something like that. And that was, I'm like, okay, exactly what I don't want to see in a video game, and especially in a shooter game. It really took away from um, how fun the combat was. Ooh, hey, what's going on over here, my friend? What is he getting stuck in? I felt like he was getting stuck. Yeah, he's getting stuck in. Oh, I'm wondering if it's like the end of the spline. And since I don't have a mesh for it, it complains about that. Just Cause 4. I haven't. I think I might have played like the one of the first Just Cause, but that was many, many years ago. I haven't played the recent ones. Why do you ask? Let's see. Can we get to this person over here and interact with them? Alright, that would be also a test on the collisions for this surface. Oh, there we go. So you can interact with them. That's good. But, oh, I forgot. She's got the same name as John and the same mission, so I need to adjust that. Oh, cool, cool. Yeah, I mean, I think if I recall correctly, there's, all right, I found her. Okay, well, she's got the same. I think I just duplicated the actor. But, um, but yeah, if I recall, the first Just Cause, it was pretty much in a Far Cry kind of fashion type of game. You know, uh, maybe I'm wrong, but that's how what I remember. So yeah, but I think you know when I look at my game, I think the biggest similarity is with Far Cry, and well, maybe Days Gone from like the environment, but Days Gone is just like a zombie, like those tweakers or whatever they call them, um, type of point. So yeah, okay. Well, so since I didn't do a whole lot of back end work yesterday, I'm thinking for the rest of the stream, there's going to be maybe some focus around this little town area to maybe finish off this little area behind the house where there's going to be some action going on, and we'll try and dress dress this area up a little bit and see what we end up with. Yeah, so let's get to it. Like I said, just a little bit of it's going to be some just level design type of stuff. Yeah, and Far Cry 5 was definitely I'm currently playing Far Cry 6 because it was like also on a very big discount, and I I I have to say I'm not sure why, but enjoyed Far Cry 5 a little bit more. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it's just the I'm not that much of a big fan of like jungle environments versus like the northern forest environments as well. But I think it seems like the characters in Far Cry 5, especially like the bad guys, right? Um, it was I think they made a better job at creating a bad guy. I'm not sure why. Like a cult leader for me is like um worse than a dictator. I'm not entirely sure why. It's just like it feels that way when you play the game. So, but it's it feels like mechanics are the same between the two um, Far Cry 5 and 6. I think with Far Cry 5, the combat is a little bit um, Far Cry 6 has this thing with like the using the right tool and like changing up the gear and all that. And I'm not that much big of a fan of getting that too specific or particular with just gears, I just want to play the game, I have a rifle, I'm just gonna shoot it. I don't care about if it shoots like bullet piercing things versus like the other types or whatever. There's like a bunch of types. I know like Die Hard shooter fans, they're probably into that, but I'm more of a like casual gamer. So and even on like 'cause I don't play on like the most difficult, but I play on like the middle difficulty for Far Cry 6. And I've never felt like I needed to change the type of munition, and I went ahead of the story and I didn't do too much of the story based evolving, kind of getting more experience and getting better gear. I just have like the basic stuff and I just headshot everybody. Uh, so it didn't really feel the need for it. Maybe if you play it on like the hardcore level, you might see the need to um, oh yeah, I definitely need to have this upgraded type of thing. So yeah, so let's just sculpt a little bit around here. But other than that, it's a really, it's a Far Cry game, so it's really enjoyable. It's a lot of fun. I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe it's just because I'm like so caught up in the work for my game that I don't play it as much. So I mean, I just like uh, pick it up every now and again. I think with Far Cry 5, I was quite uh, farther ahead in the game at this point than I am with Far Cry 6. So yeah, let's add a little bit of kind of variety around here. Oops, that's a little bit too much. That's looking pretty good. All right, so what I want to do is just kind of create a path going down here. All right, the good old flatten tool. Let's see how we can get this in here. Something like that. There we go. Just kind of like the back of the house. That would be this little area here. gonna try and paint this path. Gonna need to figure out. I think this is where it got stuck into something. Let me take a quick look at the clear collision. Is there something here? I'm not seeing. No, there isn't anything. So why did it get stuck in that? I'm gonna need to kind of walk around it again at some point to see exactly what is being stuck on. All right, so let's just paint like the little path around here. Now I want to paint, not smooth. All right, and let's paint one kind of go into this side as well. Just trying to kind of create this as a path. There we go, something like that. Yeah, there you go. And the player could arrive like in the back of the house over here. And this is where some of the guards are going to be. All right, so now here I should try and make this like a little driveway or something. And I'm gonna try and use like just a um, like a landscape spline to see if I can sculpt this out. Oh yeah, the other thing I wanted to change is trying to get rid of this sidewalk, so I'm not really using something that I'm using everywhere else in the world. And also maybe this asphalt. can be changed. And one thing, let me do this real quick. I'm just gonna try and disable the clouds so we don't get like the kind of the dark areas where we're trying to like make some changes over here. Right, and I believe this was a function, material function here. I think it's disabled. You got to put it to 0 to remove it. Let's see, is it? Or is it at 1? It's a weird kind of variable here, disabled brightness. Uh, Brightness factor applied to the light when the light function is specified but disabled. Okay, it might make sense to somebody that knows lighting better, but I'm having a hard time following it, the explanation for this. So apparently it does nothing. Or at least that not the way I have it set up. We'll see. Yeah, so there's the clouds. They're still kind of rolling in. Oh, so in this case, let's just clear it for now. All right, let's go back to the level here. And I think that would have done it. Yeah, it looks okay. So let me see about how would it work if this little thing here would be a simple spline. All right, so the sculpting looks okay. Let's try and turn these to 0 at each one of the ends. All right. And for the mesh, I'm just going to use this kind of just a dirt texture that I've been using everywhere else. All right, so here is this original one with the road texture. And let's try and get these ones. These materials. There, yeah, there we go. I think that's gonna be okay. Yeah, that looks like there's a path going on over there, and I can like I need to fix this over here to kind of pull it in a little more. But yeah, let's paint around it a little bit. Yeah, I think I might need to sink this in a little more. I kind of bring it down to here and we'll adjust the fall off. Okay, there we go. And the same for this one. Oh, thank you so much for stopping by, VDS, and yeah, thanks so much for the kind words. I'm happy it's it's coming together as well. It's been a long journey. It's definitely, the end. Well, I mean, not well, the alpha release is in sight, so that's always exciting for me. It's and that's one of the reasons that working on this by myself is I never get bored of this because I get to switch between everything. Like do some of this level design one day, do some of the programming another day, and maybe audio, maybe AI, maybe. So I think that's a great thing about game development, right? There's so many disciplines involved in it that you don't get, I mean, it doesn't get boring. And like with any job out there, once things get boring is just when you start hating it. And that's one thing I don't want to end up with, with game design is just I don't want to end up hating it because that's, since I enjoy it this much, is I want to keep on doing it. But yeah, I hope, others feel the same. Again, thanks so much for stopping by. Hopefully I'll see you next week. Take care. All right, let's see. Maybe we'll try and place some trees around on this side. Hopefully it's enough space for them to spawn. That's going to be another house next to that. All right. Well, I guess just adding the vegetation in just fills in the area, I think, really well. All right, so let's look at and yes, I need to lower this down. Let's see, hopefully that will be enough. We'll see if it can, populate some trees around some of these areas. I've just painted mulch on top. Let's see how that works. Oof, not so well. I actually removed some, but it did add a couple down here to kind of break up the line between these houses. But it did remove a few up top over here. I'm wondering if it was just this area. Let's see. Just gonna try and paint mulch instead of the grass. And let's resimulate. There we go, that's better. It's just a little bit an extra one, but it's one of the larger ones. So that's good. All right, I like that. I wish there were a few more over here, but I think it might have been due to me painting some of this in this area. All right, let's continue on with some of this placement for these big rocks around here. Yeah, this one rock I can like use for the entire world. It's got so many a big variety of shapes on it. All right, and I want to kind of set this up over here as well. Let's see what side would work best. I think it was pretty good when it was facing that way. Let's try like this. I'm not using the same size over here, so I think that should work. Flatten this terrain around it. There we go. Just like that. And there you go. Okay. And this area, I actually want to paint it with dirt just so that there is no extra landscape grasses poking through the rock, which would look a little odd. But yeah, once it's in here, now I can just paint some mulch. And actually going to start with some grass. And I want to paint it. I'm not entirely sure why the tool, whenever you have sculpt selected in here, it once you switch back to here, it's also like um, it selects one of the other ones that I don't really use to in the paint anyways. So that's a little odd sometimes. But let's start with this one, and then what I'll do is I'll paint some mulch on top of that. There we go. So that blends in pretty well with this blend layer that's on top of the rocks. Okay, so let's go ahead and resimulate here. There, okay, so we got some trees spawning on top of this ridge over here. And then there's the back of the house. The one thing that I wanted to get on the back side of some of these houses is like this little, like a little bit of a patio here, like I have this one. And it looks like this is part of the residential houses, which is good. So I can just kind of edit this level and get this section over there. This would probably work pretty well if I just merge this into one piece, so it's just one object. All right. So we'll do that later. But for now, let's just fiddle around with the terrain over here. The one thing that I actually, now that I'm looking at this, I didn't really think of it. Um, the orientation of this house and like the driveway. I think this one should kind of swing around to here, so that you kind of get to the back of the house where the garage is, or the side of the house where the garage is. Let's do that. We'll see how badly this is gonna get sculpted now. There we go, something like that. All right. Okay, that got sculpted pretty. I'm okay with that. Let's see, maybe this one I can twist it a little bit like that. And I'm just gonna need to repaint the terrain a little bit better. So around here, where there should be just dirt. And then around here, we'll just add some mulch. Hopefully there's gonna be some enough room for some trees. I hope this guy here has enough space. All right, back here, that should be okay. Just need to adjust this spline to make it a little tighter. All right, let's re-simulate this. Really happy that the simulations are very snappy. All right, so that's still there. That's over here. Okay, that's good. Let me see if I can get a couple of trees on this end. Not sure if there's enough space, but I'd like to try. Ah, there you go. That was sweet. Oh, and even space for I hardly see these being spawned. They have a low density anyways, like the dead tree. There's like three types of trees, actually four types of trees that I have. So it's this one I don't get to see too often being spawned. But yeah, there we go. So that's a pretty good. I'm happy with that setup for that house. And let's just adjust the terrain a little bit. Sculpting. I think that is good there for the flattened target. Oh, that's a little too much on this side. I think that's good there. Cool. I have to say, this is definitely really fun process to do. It's probably like, uh, and then again, it's fun to do it, but I'm not sure how fun it is to just do this. You know, it's I mean, day in and day out. I'm not sure if it gets for people that do this for their job, you know, as a level designer. Um, is there any moment that they not necessarily get tired, but they're like, oh, you know what? I'd like to try and do something else today because I've done this for like, uh, so long and I haven't touched on anything else. I would be curious to see what if that's what's the case, if that's if I have a correct assumption. All right, so there's around the house. Let's just paint some grass around here as well. That's good. And also I need to flatten this side. I have to say, I was thinking of a Far Cry just now, and the some of the music that you play while driving the car is just so awesome. Like both in Far Cry 5 and 6, that's like they've made like the driving experience really pleasant, so I do like that fact. Hey Hisham, welcome, welcome. How are you doing? Not sure if you got my message on Discord. Well, I haven't checked Discord since I started the stream, but yeah, if you want to get together and we can take a look at what you were working with. Oh, yeah. I mean, don't do that. I mean, that's I mean, if it was a mechanic that you really wanted to have, let's take a look at it and maybe we can figure it out. Just making this rock a little bit smaller. I was taking a little bit too much space, I thought. So yeah, just ping me on Discord if you um there's absolutely nothing wrong about it. Well, in that case, that's good. That's what I was trying to figure out. I couldn't figure out what was wrong with it. It felt like it was working. At least from me looking at it. Oh, I see. So, um, what you were showing me was just the kind of the debug of it, like the print message. Did I get that right? Oh, I see. I see. Well, offer still stands if you ever want to take a look at it. Just let me know. All right, so let's do a little bit more flattening around here to about where it meets the rock there. There we go. Sweet. So I'm still deciding on whether I'm gonna use what I previously had. So this is kind of gonna be like uh, a section where there's just gonna be like kind of a like apartment houses type of thing. These are like the individual houses, and this centerpiece part is gonna be just with some apartment buildings. And I'm debating I might just push this road a little further back to expand this area. It depends on like the size of the houses that I'm gonna put in. All right. So this part here is getting close to being where I wanted it to be. And so there's the road going down there. It's all wavy. Now that I look at it, I'm gonna delete this one to straighten that out. And let's see this piece here. Try to bring it right about where this one, so they meet together that way. There we go. And this one should be fine there, I think. So for this, I wanted to have, is it the right side, left side? There we go. Pulling that in that way, and this is fine. Let's see how that works. There we go, pretty good. And somebody left their stuff in the street. How rude. And I'm gonna grab these little decals from here to get that street end to blend a little bit better. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly how I feel sometimes if I'm like stuck. I've had this. It's just going and playing something and then coming back and I was, okay, problem solved. Or it made it a lot easier to not think of the problem to actually solve the problem. Uh, it's kind of interesting how our brains work sometimes. All right, so let's see about these guys and try and position them. There we go. That looks pretty almost decent. There's like a little bit of a gap there. Why is that? Let's do zero side fall off. There we go. That makes it slightly better, almost where I wanted it to be. we can get this. And there you go. That's better. Hey, Cursor is. And by the way, hopefully Cursor is live. Hopefully, if I refer to you as Cursores, that's okay. Let me know if you want me to use something else. Cursor is live. There you go. Not sure how you would say it, but yeah, welcome, welcome. See, how do I want to position this decal to about there? Oh, sweet. What do you stream about? I should check it when I get around. Oh, games, cool. I'm just asking because everybody streams differently. Do you comment on the games or is it just playing it? I think when 5.4 is fully ready, you should back up your. Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, I totally plan to go to 5.4. With me, there's also like the use of plugins. Like I have a number of plugins, and I have to make sure that they work on the new engine releases. And I've kind of been luckily I'm using Git because I have been bit before where I'd have to revert back, but this is cautionary tale. Source control is awesome. Oh yeah, just play games. Cool. So, but yeah, I definitely plan, of course, to move on to the latest and hopefully greatest. I've just seen people kind of having some troubles or like complaining about some issues with 5.4. So I'm still waiting to see how everything goes. Yeah, that's a great point. That's one thing, unfortunately, that I haven't done yet as far as editing the versions, because I've actually tried opening things from like a number of plugins, and I've had trouble with opening that in Visual Studio. But again, I'm very new when it comes to trying to rebuild somebody else's plugin. So I'm probably going to reach out to somebody that has some a lot more C++ experience than me. All right, there we go. So this ridge is almost fully done. With the back of the house. Sorry if I got anybody dizzy. Oh, the trains. Oh, sorry about that. Is the audio just not loud enough? Can everybody else hear me okay? I just didn't want to crank it too much, so not to blow um, anybody's eardrums out. Nope, not flatten, but smoothing. Oh, you're at the train. Okay, that might do it. Hey, Imran, welcome, welcome. Let me see. So right now this is what my settings is. I'm gonna crank it all the way up in here. Hopefully, let me know if this works a little bit better. I hope it does. Oh, terrific. Okay, thank you guys. So I'll keep it at zero, like this value from now on. Um, that's perfect. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that up. All right. Well, let's see. How would it look if I'm not gonna place any houses. I wanted to place like some like a little shack type garage around here, a couple of garages. So we'll see how that's gonna look. But in the meantime, I wanted to try and paint a little bit of mulch out here. Hisham, do you know Horizon Forbidden? So is that like the Horizon? Is that the game where you fight with the like the mechanoids dinosaurs or something like that? Like it's it's such a contrast. Yeah, yeah. So I've seen the trailers for that. I've seen the trailers, and it's kind of a interesting contrast. Like you're this Viking type of character, and you fight these, highly high tech, uh, you know, mechanoids, dinosaurs with a bow and arrow. I'm not sure if there's any other weapons. I think that's the only weapon that I saw in like the trailers. But yeah, I mean, I know the game. I just never played it. It was like one of the games that it's not really my type of game that I play. So maybe that's part of it. I mean, the game itself looks really cool, and so that part is seems pretty original as well, which is cool. Um, so you finished the whole the whole game on YouTube. Oh, you like watched the game or is that what it was? Hopefully I understood that right. Oh, gotcha. Well, it's always fun to play it, no doubt. I usually don't really watch a playthrough on YouTube. I just kind of watch some clips to see if I really wanna buy the game or not. So Imram, I'm a web dev and I'm trying to learn UE. According to you, what's the best resources and what should I learn first, then next, and so on? Great question. And Now this is again from my own experience because I'm self-taught, so I'm not I did not go to university or to any kind of college. The way I did it was so I learned by doing, and I follow like tutorial series. And here's a couple of channels that uh, that kind of take you through those series as far as okay, how to make a basic shooter. So it teaches you interactions, it teaches you like a basic inventory, it teaches you some basic AI, and these are a few channels that I follow. So Ryan Laley being one of them, Matt Bland being another, and then there is this guy, Watstein. He does like kind of, you know, short videos on a particular topic. And it's he doesn't do like a series, like a tutorial series per se, but whenever you have a kind of, if you're using blueprints, and if you have kind of a, how does this node, what does this node do, in blueprints? Then this guy, he goes into it and explains it pretty well in a kind of a short format, like 5, 10 minutes at the most. So Cursor is live. Don't you ever feel like working on a game for 4 years and it's still in development make you get bored at development cycle? No, that's a great question. And I've had some even friends of mine also, like family is like, Do you still work on that game? Why are you still working on, or like, didn't you get bored with it? And honestly, it's I don't. And 4 years. Again, you gotta look at these 4 years. I think it's actually with Unreal. It's been more than 4 years since I started Unreal, maybe about 6. But and there was definitely the learning curve with it. But I don't get bored. I don't get bored with it because, like I said, I'm jumping between, and it might be chaotic at times for me as well. And maybe um, people that watch this, they see me, and a lot of the stuff that I stream is mostly just around like the level design, world building, because I think it's a little bit more pleasing to the eye. I don't really do a lot of the, digging into like a blueprint and, kind of debugging and going through all that headache that sometimes when I debug stuff, you get a, but being able to do multiple things, that's why I never get bored, so I think that's what keeps me going, so to speak. If I was in your place 4 years, I think I would be starting my new 70th game project. And there's also nothing wrong with that. As long as you're working towards something, that's I think. And Imran, just to, if you're still around, just to mention this. This is also how I learn. Kind of setting a goal to do something, and trying to get as close to that as possible. Saying, okay, I want to build a video game. Yeah, this is something that's taken years, but and I think I mentioned this before. I think game development it's got like it touches on like the biggest variety of topics in any discipline out there. You got audio, you got programming, you got like art, you got AI, you got storytelling. So So yeah, I think, and that's what I don't get bored with it. So uh, Cursor, hopefully that gives you an answer. That at least how I see things. And I mean, how I see it, how I approach it, and also from a kind of the development side of things. But yeah, I totally get it. It's it's tough nowadays to, because there's so much distraction, right? So it's sometimes it's tough to, you want to set a goal. There's so many things coming at you. Um, Probably the fact that I'm older is it's probably helpful to me at least, maybe. Um, so yeah, and I'm at a point where I rather do this than play a video game. So it's I've had a lot of days, even if when I was playing, like, Far Cry or something like that, that I'd be like, yeah, you know what, I'm gonna work on this. So I'm gonna play Far Cry in like an hour. And 3 hours go by and I'm going to bed, not playing Far Cry. Hisham, I'm 42 and a half, so 43 this year. Cursor game dev is hard. Yeah, there is exactly. It's if you get something very specific, um, it can be hard, and that's why, you know, kind of learning is going to make that what seemed hard a lot easier as you progress. So yeah, everything starts hard, but once you get some experience, it's um, I think it gets easier. And I'm lucky that my day job is software engineering, so I got the concepts, the basics of things when it comes to. So blueprints did not seem too daunting, too difficult to pick up. So Hisham, I think you're like in your teens, like pre-20s, something like that. Um, Let me know how close I am. I can't tell. Yeah, and that's true. Imran, I also have a day job and, other things that I have to do, around the house. Yeah, there you go, 16. So I was close. I was close. Um, and Imran, that's life. And that's why is also like I'm not as probably as far ahead in my project as maybe I would have been if I only had like a part-time job or I didn't have, a house to take care of or uh, daily response, adulting duties, I would call them. So yeah, software engineer. I thought so. I was yeah. There you go. So it's I think the the learning the mechanics of how blueprints operate was pretty easy. It wasn't. I didn't feel like it was very difficult. So I'm contemplating whether to begin with game art or core mechanics. Well, it depends. It depends if you want to make a video game or you want to make art, I guess. One thing that kind of bit me a little bit, and I think that's what took me even longer, was the fact that when I first picked the engine, I looked at what looks more shiny. So I looked at like the shiny things and not the mechanic side of things. Um, and it's at that time, CryEngine was the shinier thing. The rendering stuff was nicer than Unreal, but than Unity. But I didn't look at the mechanics. So if you're going for um, if you want to make a video game, I would start with the mechanics to learn how things work. And in between, you can also do the art because that's what I've been doing. I've been like kind of combining the two, just so that way, I didn't get bored. And I think that's a good that's my approach to it. Oh, hey, Cursor. So you're what in your 20s? Yeah, that's cool. I guess in the game industry, I'm an old dude, but yeah, I think I think a big issue nowadays is um, you get burned out pretty quickly. So that's one thing, kind of a caution. Don't if you start feeling burned out, take breaks because it might push you to like give up on what you're doing. And Imran, that just as a suggestion, just not all just more experience. Well, I mean, when it comes to game development, it's a toss-up, right? It doesn't there's like so many young people out there because like when I was you guys' age, there wasn't that much tech going on, right? So especially when it came to like game development, it was like in its infancy, it was just like young and uh so a lot of young people nowadays, you guys' age, 16, 18 and early 20s uh can have just as much basically just as much experience as I have because, Unreal Engine is pretty young if you think about it, especially like the newer versions. So, yeah. Oh, Imran, 37. Okay, so you're closer to my age. Yeah. Hey, Nexus, welcome, welcome. How are you doing? No, I'm in pain. Well, that's the thing, it's like with anything out there, it's easy to point mistakes, but then once you get into it, it's and I've seen people, like some developers ranting about that, and that's also not the right way, because like well, what do these people know about it? And they only complain about us not making this or making that in a video game. What do they know about game development? Um, so I get their point. Their approach is bad. You shouldn't be approaching it that way. Like complaining about people, you know, mentioning flaws. Um, so, uh, like the way I do it, even at work, if it's um, people telling me something about that I did wrong. Okay, no, okay, let's look at it and see what can be fixed, because that's the only way to improve. So yeah. Oh, hey, Nexus, welcome, welcome. Assalamu alaikum. Uh, so I know a little bit of just greeting people and, but welcome, welcome to the stream. No worries, no worries. Anything works. Come on, I know I can paint this out here. There we go. And what else did I want to do here? What else did I want to do? Yes, I wanted to kind of finish the back of this house. And so we got this section here almost done. This one here as well. And we just get this one back here. And then maybe we can also do this side where this house is and kind of fill in this little area. Um, so what is that? Is that a steal from Grand Theft Auto San Andreas? What is? Are you referring to the house? Whoops. Oh, the circular thing. It's a I think it's called a cul-de-sac. So it's basically, oops, I don't want to didn't want to sculpt. Um, it's basically just a rectangle with a spline going around it. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, hey, there we go. It's like the United Nations up in here. It's always fun. And Nexus game, where are you from? Oh, Yemen. Hey, welcome, welcome. All right, come on. We can sculpt this area here. There we go. That's better. All right, and let's paint a little bit of it. Well, welcome, welcome. Oh yeah, there we go. Nice. I'm always thinking that, especially at this time, I'm not sure if I think maybe Yemen is not that late, but Inram in India, what time is it there? Is it almost 11 p.m.? I think it's like what, a 10-hour difference? 11 p.m. Yeah, there we go. There you go. So that's why I'm trying to like kind of stream in the middle of the day, and that way maybe I hit people in as many people in the world as possible, like West Coast, East Coast, Europe, Asia. So, Africa. I think looking at the stats, there's also some folks from Africa joining sometimes. But yeah. Hey, James, welcome, welcome. How are you doing? Oh, so Yemen is at 8:32, which is yeah, it's like an hour ahead of Romania. Yeah. And James, I'm not sure if I ever asked you because like everybody um was just like sharing where they're from. Can you share where are you from? Just from like a kind of a world localization standpoint. Oh, the Netherlands. Okay, yeah, cool. So there we go. We got Europe covered. I think we also had US covered. We got the Middle East covered. Awesome. And India. Nice. And VDS, I forgot. Where are you from? Oh, myself. Next, if you're asking me, I'm from Romania, but I live in the States. So there we go. We got somebody from the States as well in VDS, and myself living here. Very cool. It's kind of interesting. And I might have talked about this before. I think when it comes to like the game development community, it's a really tight. Everybody's trying to help everybody, but it seems like when it comes to like the gamers community, Um, and again, it depends on the type of game. People get so annoyed. Like you see these like funny videos of people just raging that they lost in like Call of Duty or something like that. You don't really see that in game development, which I find it interesting. But I also like that fact, like that's always cool. So my name is just like Andre. That's my name, Nexus. Just the name of the channel. Not let me see, can I pronounce that? Narzlacha? Did I say that right? I probably didn't, but I don't want to. Nice to meet you. I don't want to, do too much. Oh, Narsalach. Narsalach, like that? And yes, James, that's definitely true. Like um, it definitely it made me feel welcome as well. When I first started, for sure. Nexus, I'm guessing it's not even close. And Namaste, yeah, Namaste as well. Okay, well, how do I want to do this? Do I want to use that big piece or just use one of these? Hmm. See, I think I can push it to 3 to about there, and then let's sculpt this out. Oh, Bengalis Kimonacho. Nice. Hisham, are you talking um, about what game? Well, and I think Nexus, it just comes with practice, as far as, English goes. The way I learned English was from movies because in Romania we used to have we still have we have subtitles, so we always heard how things were like pronounced, and we were able to kind of relate those to the words and to what it was in Romanian. So just practice, just once you listen, it's fine. Oh, Horizon Forbidden West. Hisham, what kind of video card do you have? 20 frames? Yeah, that's not that great. But I know there is I think if you have under 2 hours of playtime, I think there you can get a refund on Steam. At least that's what I remember. I actually moved to the States about 20 years ago. So yeah, it's been a while. I learned it from people in Sardinia. I've never heard. Yeah, that's actually kind of funny. Uh, because that's the first and I think the only San Andreas game that I played. The well, the only the GTA game that I played was San Andreas. That was, but I also learned quite a lot from that, which is kind of funny. Yeah, well, that's exactly true. Well, and then again, the Intel is hard to target for anybody, I think, or at least it's difficult. But so did I see? Yeah, Hisham. Uh, did you did you say what video card you were running? And James, what kind of video card do you run? Like I run an old 1070. I wasn't sure what other people's had. 1660 Super. So I think yours is comparable to mine, if I'm not mistaken, right, Hisham? Oh, yes, yes, yes. Ramadan started. Oh, good. Oh, James, he came hard with that RTX 4090. Okay. I am Groot. Yeah, that 49 is something else. I've seen uh some people, playing like um playing on that. But hey, you know what? I mean, that's the whole point of and for us older folks, once you have a day like a day job and all that, that's what that day job gives you. You know, you can buy toys. So yeah. Oh, you stopped learning English because of Ramadan. Oh, okay. Well, once it's over, you can resume it. So Imran, this is a single player game, first of all. So it's a story-based game. The um, you start the game with a plane crash, basically, and you can jump out of the airplane at three different locations. So each different location is going to have the starting missions be a little bit different from each other, and they're going to eventually come into the same thread, so to speak. And so again, it's a first-person shooter action adventure. It's not don't think of it as a Far Cry when it comes to like 50,000 types of weapons or combat like that. But yeah, there's going to be shooting, there's going to be enemies, kind of the stealth takedown type of stuff. And yeah, so these locations have been oh, I need to respawn the trees. Somehow they're not visible around here anymore. Oh, I'm wondering if one of my um, the other area took over overwritten my I have two procedural volumes here. So, there's going to be these areas in the map, that are going to be taken over by the bad guys, and that you're going to be able to infiltrate in a way, but you're not going to be able um, to do it like guns blazing, so to speak. So, yeah, this is kind of the playable area around here, which is about 2 by 2 kilometers. The map is much larger than that. The map is about this map here is about 4 by 4, and but the playable area is going to be this 2 by 2 kilometer area. So yeah, um, and y- you're gonna have to find what's going on in this world and help the friendly NPCs kind of deal with the bad guys. Right. Yeah. So Hisham, how does the game run on your GPU? Were you asking me or James? Yeah, and I think James can run anything on 4090. Yeah. Oh, wow. You can run the viewport in Blender and cycles in real time. That's something else. And James, 1,000 frames for sure. Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, So let's see. We got the backside of these houses in place. Things are looking a little bit better now, with some of these rocks filling up those the cliff areas, so to speak. Yeah. Um, Highest FPS I've seen on my 1441 is 470. Oh my God. Jeez. Like my 1070 barely pulls in like 45, 50-ish in Doom Eternal. And that's not on any kind of, it's like on 1080 monitor. And it's just like, I think high settings. It's nothing past that. Damn. Oh, at least that's a good benchmark to know how much ahead of my 1070 at 4090 is. Nice. Okay. Well, I think I might have covered at least the areas that I wanted to work on during this stream. I'm gonna need to figure out why this particular area is devoid of trees. Let me see if I can resimulate this. Where did all my trees go? Did I move this? Oh, I moved it up. Oh, that's why. I think that might have done it. Let me place it where it used to be because we were like, running the gameplay and this stuff generates this weird overlap event that I can't figure out why. So let me try doing this again and resimulate it. Let's see if that fixes it. Oh, 100 in Fortnite. That's pretty good. So let me, while that thing is generating, I'm curious about because I think I've seen some like a GTX 1660 for sale locally here around my place. 1070. Okay, yeah, so they're about the same. For whatever reason, it's a lot more expensive than a 1070. Yeah, this is what the estimate is. Like you can get a 1070 for like 132. I think that's like the average or something like that. But yeah, the 1660 is a little bit more high priced than that. Oh, cursor, sorry to hear. All right, so the trees are back, at least everywhere that they should have been. And there we go. We got something going on back there. There's some vegetation and everything else. That's cool. How much better is the 1660 Super than the 2? Oh, I see. Nexus, that's awesome. That's a good combo. The 4070 and the 14 Gen i7. I think I have like a 12 Gen i7 and the 1070, which is a sad kind of video card, but it works. Yeah. So, yeah, guys, thank you all so much for stopping by. I think I'm gonna cut it a little short because I just got a text from a friend and he needs some help with uh, with his car. So, uh, thank you guys so much for stopping by. Uh, I uh, I hope it was. I'm glad there were so many people chatting and. I hope it was something interesting to see everybody that's new. Imran, thank you so much for stopping by. And I uh, I hope to see you guys next week. Um, and until then, everybody, take care. Have a great week coming up, and I'll see you then. Great to have everybody chatting here. I'm happy to see that. So, all right. Thank you so much. And shukran to all my guys in the Middle East over there. At least I hope I said that right. But yeah, take care, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Bye all.